Welcome to the Mystery Poncho Crochet Along hosted by B.Hooked Crochet and Red Heart Yarns. My name is Brittany and I'm your host throughout this entire project, and we're well on our way to finishing our ponchos. If you haven't done so already, be sure to RSVP on the Facebook event page and find your written instructions at bhookedcrochet.com/mysteryponcho. That page will be your hub for this event. The clues will be released there, and it also has links to the Facebook event page where you can share your photos, ask questions, and connect with others who are participating. All right, grab your hook and yarn and let's get started right after this. At this point, you have two panels that look like this, and you've blocked them and you're ready for part 2. Well, part 2 is very simple. What we're going to do is join both of these panels to form the poncho. So think of it this way. Each one of these panels is going to be in the center of the poncho. So one of them is going to be the center front and the other is going to be the center back. Before we fasten on with our new ball of yarn, we first need to determine what is the right side and what is the wrong side of our first section. So I like to do things a little bit backwards because honestly, I like the texture of the wrong side, or what we would technically refer to as the wrong side, for this panel. So what I'm talking about is if we turn it this way, our double crochets are facing forward. And they look a little bit more twisty, I suppose you could say it that way. And the puff stitch is a lot more flat. So if you're looking at it kind of like from this, the puff stitch is sort of in the same plane, or it's not sticking out further than the double crochets or the single crochet row. When you're looking at it from this side, then the puff stitch on the back tends to stick out a little bit more. Well, I like that textured appearance a little bit more, so I am referring to this side as the right side of the work. If you like the look of the other side though, it's completely up to you. This is your poncho, so then you'll start with that side first. Just pick the side that you think looks the best, and then grab your next ball of yarn. We're going to see how to work these two pieces together. All right, so the first thing we need to do is situate our piece so that we can see the side edge with the right side facing up. And then you're just going to make a slip knot with your new ball of yarn. And find the edge stitch. Now for the first row, it's going to be a single crochet row, and you just want to find a nice space to enter your hook into. Then place that new loop on your hook, and then chain 2. We're going to be working with half double crochet stitches, and that chain 2 counts as our first half double crochet stitch. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Now move to the next double crochet. What we're going to do is make 2 half double crochets around that post. Then what's next is our single crochet row. We're going to make a half double crochet around that edge stitch, and actually what I tend to do is work it right here. It's really the stitch that's underneath that double crochet. There's really no right or wrong way, if we're being honest, to do this. It's whatever looks best. So if you find that working your stitch into a different place, as long as it's right along that single crochet row, you should be good to go. And then we're going to repeat that. It's actually quite simple for this row. We're going to work 2 half double crochet stitches around each double crochet, and then we're going to work 1 half double crochet around or on the side of our single crochet row. Now we could talk about calculating the number of stitches that you're going to evenly space for 6 different sizes, and I know your head spins thinking about that as well as mine does. So we're going to make things really, really simple. We're not going to be worrying about a specific number of stitches. Your guideline is to make 1 half double crochet at the very beginning. So on the single crochet row, That's going to count, well, your chain 2 counts as that stitch. So make your chain 2 and then make 2 half double crochets around every single double crochet stitch on your side. Make 1 half double crochet stitch for every single crochet row. So go ahead and work that up until you get to the end of this panel, and then we'll have a look at what we're going to do next. When you get to the end of your row, you're going to make sure you have your half double crochet in that final row, which is a row of single crochet. And then we're going to bridge the gap in between this front panel and the second one. We're going to do that first by making 7 chains. And then what we need to do is just steady the chain here in the background, yarn over, because we're going to half double crochet around the edge stitch here of our next panel. Now, those 2 sides are joined. We can just keep going with our same trend. So we have our first stitch there in that first row. The next thing we're going to do is make 2 half double crochets around this edge stitch here. And you may come to the point when you have that chain 3 that's counting as your stitch. Well, you're just going to treat that the same way as if it were a regular double crochet. You're just going to work your 2 half double crochets around that chain 3, or if you're on the side where you have a double crochet, you'll just work your 2 half double crochets around that, and find your single crochet row, work a half double crochet around that. And it's really this simple, guys. We don't have to worry about stitch count, which is really nice. We can just make 1 half double crochet following these guidelines, 2 around the double crochet post, 1 in the single crochet, and keep going. We're just going to work that until we get to the end of this panel now. Now once you've finished up that row, once again, you don't need to count your stitches. There's no need to, because we're only going to work with half double crochet stitches. I went ahead and turned my work because we're going to start on the second row, and we're going to chain 2. And once again, this chain 2 is going to count as our first half double crochet. So keep that in mind. It's important because we need to work our last stitch into this chain to maintain our stitch count. And although the total number of stitches isn't important to us right now, if we forget to work our stitch into this chain, then it will matter because we will be decreasing. And what we'll see is instead of having a straight bottom, it'll sort of curve upward. So what we need to do is work our half double crochet into the next stitch. So counting the chain 2 as a stitch, so that means I'm not going to work here. I'm going to work my hook into the next one, and I'm going under both of those loops. So just work 1 half double crochet into every stitch. Now when you get to your chain 7 there at the middle of the work, we're just going to make 1 half double crochet into every chain. It's really simple. We're just going to treat them as normal stitches and continue working. Now the cool thing about the half double crochet is that it does a little bit of design work for you because it has that third loop or that back bar. Sometimes you'll see patterns that'll say that you should work half double crochet in the back bar only, and that's just a little design element. But if you turn your work over to the back, you'll see your 2 loops there from the stitch, like the normal 2 loops that you'll see, the V up at the top. But if you keep going, you'll see an extra bar right there. So that's the back bar. You see that at the back of the work. And so this right here is the back bar from that previous row. So after you work a few rows of half double crochet, you'll really start to see almost like a grid pattern. It plays really nicely with the yarn. We want to have something simple because the yarn is so vibrant and so colorful. So we want to make sure we play with that, and that's why we're going to be using just the half double crochet for clue 2. It's really simple, guys. What we need to do at this point to finish up our poncho is just work this repeat for this side of the work. We're going to work it up for the first side, so that's going to be the initial join where we have joined the two sides together, which you can see right here. This is going to be the join, so right here is the neck hole. Now, one thing you may want to do before moving forward is just try this on, make sure it fits nice and comfortably, and if it does, you're good to go. If for some reason you feel like the opening here is going to be too small, just add some chains in between here. Now you will have to frog back to that point, but it's okay. You don't have to keep it in a certain multiple, just chain a little bit more, whatever you think is going to be comfortable, and move forward from there. So I want to show you now what it looks like after you've worked up a few rows. Again, with half double crochets only, you can sort of see that back bar that I was talking about that kind of just makes lines. It really allows the yarn to shine, and that's kind of the main goal here that we're going for. Well, the next question is how long do I crochet for? How wide do I need to make this? And there are measurements that you can go off of in the written instructions, and it's size specific. But just know that this is an opportunity for you to customize the fit of your poncho. Honestly, what I would recommend doing is putting the poncho on, trying it on every so often, and get a customized fit. Now, a couple of things that came up in the comments section on the Facebook page is that your panels measured a little bit wider than what the pattern indicated, and that's not a huge deal, if we're being honest. All you have to do is sort of make up for that extra width here on this part. Since this is just the middle panel, it's really the focal point of the poncho, but if it's a little bit wider than the pattern specifies, if it's a little bit narrower than the pattern specifies, that's okay. All you need to do is just account for that and give yourself a more customized fit. So what I mean by that is just trying the poncho on as you crochet along, and let that indicate when you're going to fasten off this section here. So if you want a poncho that is really large and that covers, let's say, down to your elbows, you're going to be crocheting for a while. You want this to be nice and long. If you want it to be a little bit shorter, almost like a vest style poncho where you can wear a long sleeve shirt underneath it and just kind of use this as an accent piece, well, you're not going to crochet very long. You're going to have a much shorter section here. And once you figure that out, all you need to do is fasten off. You'll work to the end of your row, you'll fasten off like normal, you'll weave in your ends. Now, once you have one side completed, we're going to need to do the same thing for the other side. So you'll fasten on just like we demonstrated here previously. You'll make your half double crochet stitches as we've directed, and you're going to make the same number of rows on that second side that you made on this first side here. So obviously I'm still working through this. I'm going to make this quite a bit longer. And again, you can find the recommendations in the written instructions, but know that these are measurements, they're calculations. I really urge you to just try to give yourself a customized fit. It's going to be a good learning experience for you, and it's going to make sure that you have the best fit possible, so you really want to wear and enjoy this poncho. Well, that is all the info you need for clue number 2 for the Mystery Poncho Crochet Along. We're joining our two panels together by creating the long side panels that are basically going to become the sleeves, or what cover our arms on the poncho. We're going to work them up to the proper length to get a customized fit for ourselves, and that's it. We're going to fasten off, we'll weave in all of our ends, and share a photo with me on the Facebook event page. I'm really enjoying looking through, seeing your comments, seeing how you guys are helping each other. It's just a really great experience. It makes me very happy as a designer and a creator to be able to provide something like this for you, and also to crochet along with you. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them on the Facebook event page. I appreciate you, and I hope you've had so much fun with this mystery crochet along. Stay tuned on November 24th. I will be giving you the reveal, the final reveal of the design through the website, BHookedCrochet.com/mystery poncho. You can find that there on November 24th. All right, guys, have fun with clue number 2. I will see you next week.